Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and I have an incredibly exciting video for you today. This has the potential to, though it may not be, an exclusive. This could be a world's first, looking at a new model from Ibanez, because one of the beauty of having friends, I do actually have some friends in the world, believe it or not, is that I can get these, I know about these things, and I get the chance to talk to these people about these awesome things they have going on in their lives. And when we talk about awesome things and good things happening to good people, I can't really think of anyone better and more deserving of something like this than my good friend Martin Miller. Martin, say hello.
Cheers, dude. Hello. How are you doing?
How's it going? So, yeah, you have an Ibanez signature model now.
Oh my god. Habemus signaturam.
Who would have ever guessed that was going to happen?
Yeah, and certainly not me. Certainly not me. It took me by surprise, just like everybody else.
So I have a ton of questions that I think are going to be incredibly interesting for anyone watching, because when you think about it, what our experience is of signature guitars up until being able to have a conversation with someone like you is we just see signature models come out. We don't really know how they come about, what the process is, how involved an artist is in creating their signature model, and the amount of demands that you've been able to make. But why don't we take it back a bit, because you've been playing Ibanez now for a while, but you had a period with other brands. But yeah, you're an Ibanez guy through and through, right? You've been playing Ibanez for years and years.
Yeah, been playing Ibanez since my teens. Always have. I believe there was no point in my life after I owned my first Ibanez where I didn't own an Ibanez. Even times where they were not my main guitars, I still had a couple of them. So yeah, when the endorsement thing became official, and that was roughly 3 years ago, it was just like a big homecoming. It's just like putting on an old pair of shoes that fit perfectly.
Yeah, you played an S series quite a lot on the net, right?
No, that was an Andy Timmons model actually, but that was out only for like that was available only for 2 years or so. Looked a bit S-shaped. Yeah, that's an 8300. Yeah.
So people will have seen you playing that, and so but we say Ibanez, like the guitar you're holding, it's based on the AZ series, which also is completely new this year. Yeah. The Ibanez take on the modern guitar, shall we say? And the buzz on the internet is incredibly high. Everyone is excited about this particular brand, this particular model. So you, I assume, will have been involved in the creation of the AZ from the get-go. You will have known about the series, and so what can you tell us in terms of how the AZ came about, and how early on in the process you sort of were aware of things?
I was actually involved from the very beginning. So when I had my first meeting with the Ibanez people, actually here in this very room, regarding the AZ, it was just a piece of bodywood and a bunch of files with hundreds of designs in them, be it body shapes, headstock shapes, logo designs, potential finishes, tremolos, etc. So I was basically browsing through hundreds of designs and just picking out what I liked best. And at this point, it was just my understanding was that they were going to create a new line of guitars. And they wanted artist input, basically. So at this point, there was the word signature didn't get kicked around at all. That was actually a while later. So in the first couple of months, I've been involved with creating the first prototypes of the AZ series, and I'm actually very pleased because we have video footage of all of this. If you go back to the video footage, you can see that a lot of my recommendations actually made the actual series. Whether that's my contribution or somebody else said similar things and they took their word, I don't know. But it was extremely close to what I imagined this guitar should become.
So when you talk about the guitar that you thought it should become, and not just your signature model, but the AZ series in general, how would you describe the AZ series in terms of being different from Ibanez guitars of past?
Well, Ibanez has always been pretty much on the forefront of innovation, right? On the cutting edge. So it's basically just taking that step to the cutting edge. I mean, this is basically like a cross between what we know as the RG series and a bit more of a traditional design, but with extremely modern features like the roasted maple neck, the stainless steel frets, the recessed vintage trem with titanium saddles, that like this little switch down here that does all sorts of magic tricks. So yeah, it's like the super Strat basically.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple of features of the AZ series in general there. I assume it's AZ series total. The roasted maple neck, is that across the board?
Yes.
And stainless steel frets. Which,
exactly. As far as I'm concerned, and don't take my word for it, look it up, but I think even the premium series comes with stainless steel frets.
Okay, yeah, because stainless steel frets obviously quite a buzz on the boutique scene for many years. It's the sort of thing that people constantly, my guitar must have stainless steel frets.
I tell you what, if I agreed to sort of a signature deal, it would have to have. Oh, sorry, that was the camera cut out for a sec. If I agreed to having a signature model, it would have to have stainless steel frets on it because I wear down frets so quickly. Must be the acidity of my hands or something. I don't know what it is, but my frets look like a mess 1 year into playing a guitar. Seriously. So, and these just don't show no signs of wear whatsoever. I've been playing my prototype basically exclusively for 6 to 9 months or so, and there was absolutely no sign of wear on them, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, stainless steel frets obviously do last a fair amount longer, though I hear that they are a pain to have to work with. But that's not our problem. We're the players, right?
Yeah, well, it's kind of our problem when we have to get a fret dress and somebody has to file it off. That's going to be our cost. But all the prototypes I've had so far, as well as the final production model, have had flawless fret work. So that's not a concern for me. Luckily.
So, what's the thoughts on the roasted maple?
No issues so far. I mean, I hadn't had any experience with roasted maple in the past. I've been a rosewood guy for the bigger part of my life. But as far as I'm concerned, no issues. I've been traveling with all these guitars, taking them from Canada to South America. No issues whatsoever.
Cool. We like to hear that. All right, so the other thing that I guess is quite interesting, mainly because I don't think anyone's really spoken about it, what pickups are featured in the standard AZs and what are in your guitar, and how did you arrive at that kind of decision?
They all come equipped with the Seymour Duncan Hyperion, which is a custom design specifically made for these guitars. And if my ear serves me right, they took quite a few steps of development from prototype to prototype, and definitely the production model nails it. So, of course, you can change your pickups to whatever you want them to be, but these are specifically made for this guitar, so you won't get a better fit, really.
Mm-hmm. And you've got some interesting custom switching options in there, right? But that's across the board for all AZ models. So, what are they?
Yeah, that was not a specific need of mine. So I wouldn't even know, to be honest. You have to check the spec sheet. I'm not a tech guy. I just go by sound. I've really, for the most part, I use the bridge pickup, the neck pickup, and I use the first in-between position. And every once in a while, I switch to the middle and flick this one, and have another very interesting sound that is single coilish, split position like, but with a higher output. It's very cool. Actually, you should check out the single coil models. They have a very nice sound on the neck pickup when you hit that switch. What it does, I'm not an electronics expert. I wouldn't know. I just go by ear, really.
Yeah, and well, the ear is king. But we talk about ears. Why don't we talk about eyes? So your guitar looks very different to the others, just in terms of finish. So tell us about the finish on that guitar.
For me, that was easily the toughest decision to make. I had I boiled it down to like 20 final designs that I was going to choose from. And that took me a couple of weeks, man. This was easily as tough as choosing a name for my album, bar none. So we ended up with the Transparent Aqua Blue, which happens to go short by Tab, which I'm not a particular friend of.
So dude, you do have tabs.
I got Tab. Yeah, I got Tab.
Nice.
No, but it was this finish. I so identify with that finish. For the longest time, I was kicking back and forth the thought of having a pink finish. And while it looked very tempting on the PDF, the Photoshop mock-ups that I got, I was a bit too scared of what it would look like in real life, and also how it would fit me as a person and with my stage presence and so on. So I went for something that is rock and roll, but not too rock and roll, not too glamorous.
Yeah, so that's going to kind of fit in all settings. Yeah. Whereas if you have a pink guitar...
Yeah.
Also...
I still wanted it to be a professional player's guitar, really.
Yeah. When you say a player's guitar, like that guitar is a model. People can actually purchase that. So I assume that you've also had to factor in what you think other people would enjoy.
Absolutely. And actually that was what you called the thing that tipped the whole decision into favor of the blue, because I was speaking to some people. You know what? I'm really tempted by this pink, but and then some people said you might have a hard time selling that. And not that that's the big deal, but I'm actually very happy with how this turned out. And I'm actually, when I took the guitar out of the case, it looked quite a bit different from what the spec, the Photoshop mock-up looked like. Now it looked better in my opinion, which totally pleased me. But imagine if I took the pink, which looked great as a mock-up, and I took it out and it was something completely different than I expected, and then I'll be like, I'm stuck with this guitar for the next X amount of years. Yeah. So yeah, I took the safe route, and I think people will be happy with that, because definitely this will appeal to a broader spectrum of people.
And there's one aspect actually that I've not mentioned up until this point: the bodywood. So you're mahogany, right? And you're the only model in the kind of AZ line with a mahogany body, right?
Yes. A couple of guitars have flame tops, but none of them feature a mahogany body, and that I'm very proud of. That I'm actually I offer the only guitar in the line of guitars that has a mahogany body, and which is something that I really, really insisted on, because my sound has always been defined by mahogany body guitars. That's just the sound I'm looking for. And I have the prototype, which has an alder body. Sounds great, but the mahogany, if you compare them side by side, it's quite a difference. The mahogany is, in my opinion, a lot more balanced. It's a lot more trebly than the alder counterpart, in a good way, because it's just more. Whereas the alder with the quilt top was almost like a high cutoff. Is a very dark sounding guitar. This is a more general sounding guitar, which is important for me, because if I go for the one guitar does all kind of thing, I really need that guitar to do everything. So it's very center of the spectrum, which makes me able to go both ways with it. Yeah.
So in there you mentioned, or the word you used was that you insisted. You said you insisted in the mahogany. And to me, that's probably the most interesting aspect of your relationship with Ibanez. I said I wanted to get into that idea of just how much influence you had on things with your signature model. So how flexible were Ibanez? Actually, I guess before you tell us flexibility, who suggested a signature model, and then the process of creating a signature model, how flexible were they with things for you?
So the signature guitar was proposed to me after 2 years of being an Ibanez endorser, and I was going to Musikmesse expecting to get another prototype, and so the artist relations people from Ibanez dragged me into a room and said,
we wanted to prolong our relationship, but we also wanted to up our endorsement one level.
And I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'll get another free guitar or something. And then the word the word signature came out of their mouth, and I was just like, it was a complete shock. I was actually I'm not a guy who struggles with tears a lot, but in that case I really did, that was shivers down my spine for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, come on, of our generation of guitar players, who in their teens didn't dream of having a guitar with their brand of choice or with the brand that their heroes play?
Yep.
I mean,
and
who didn't?
Who of us was it not Ibanez? You know,
out of our generation, the type of music we listened to, there was no way past Ibanez. Period.
Yep. Super cool. And yeah, in terms of your influence, how kind of flexible had Ibanez been with you on things? Just because, as I say, you know, insisting on mahogany and things like that. It's just because I know you have a very good relationship with Ibanez, and they seem like, well, as you mentioned, you know, when the initial AZ prototype happened, it was in your house.
Yes.
They came into that room to kind of show you through things, and that strikes me as a sort of company that cares about what you think and things like that.
Yeah. So when you first, as I mentioned earlier, when we first suggested different types of features, etc., what I suggested pretty much ended up being the AZ prototype. So I was very pleased to see that. I was definitely suggesting of splitting the line into both 22 fret HSS and 24 fret HH. I was very much insisting on having a vintage style tremolo and not a double locking one, with and having the locking tuners instead. So from there wasn't really much I needed to change to make it my guitar. I really what I wanted to have was the chrome hardware, because I just think it suits the guitar a little bit better. And the mahogany, that is really me. And with everything else, it was either features I suggested in the first place, whether that was my input or not, it just happened to match up. Yeah. And the rest, to be honest, neck woods, those type of things, radiuses, I leave it to the pros. I leave it to those people that designed the body shape to go hand in hand with the neck profile, to go hand in hand with the choice of the actual pieces of wood or radius. I pretty much let them do it, and I was just going yes, no.
Sure. Now we're kind of getting into the land of being a little bit bitchy, but that's good. The way I see that is that Ibanez have decades of experience building guitars.
Exactly.
You don't have decades of experience building guitars.
Right.
So if you just decided to launch your own brand of guitars one day, to me that doesn't say nearly as much as saying I want somebody that makes guitars to make a guitar and put my name on it, more so than I'm just going to have a bash at making a guitar, put my name on a headstock and hope people will buy it. So
yeah. No, I definitely know when to leave things to the pros.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess last question, or last bit would be, what do you feel the future holds? Do you feel that, are there other things that you'd like to achieve with Ibanez? More signature models, I would assume.
There's been a couple of pivotal moments in my career so far. If you boil it down, it would probably, leaving the educational aspect of it aside, not the learning part, like the actual business career part. A big pivotal moment was getting onto Gemtrack Central for sure. That was a big one. Another big one was signing up with Ibanez, and definitely maybe the biggest one so far is getting this guitar made.
What do you mean maybe? There's no maybe.
It's gotta be. Yeah. I mean, who can say that they have an Ibanez signature model? It's still ridiculous to me. If you know where I'm from, like the tiniest of villages, complete hillbilly, this is still unbelievable to me. Yeah. So it's a big honor, and I'm very well aware of how lucky a guy I am. So I don't know. I really want to take it from there. It's like, do you know when they gave the Nobel Peace Prize to Obama? It was like they didn't give him give it to him for what he achieved. They gave it to him as an obligation to do good things. I see this guitar kind of the same way. Now you got your signature guitar. Now go out and do good work. So I want to make great albums, great videos, great educational content, play a lot of music live, be it with a band or clinics or all types of stuff. I just want to, more of the same, but a lot more of the same, if you know what I mean. I really want to do another album this year, that's for sure. And I want it to be based on the inspiration that this instrument gives me.
I imagine that inspiration is absolutely huge. That would inspire me to pick up the guitar every damn day. So when are people going to be able to check your guitar out? Where can they get it? Etc. etc.
Yeah, it's still rumors at this point. I don't have a specific release date. I would say it's middle of the year. Think June, July maybe. Yeah, wait a little longer. As for price, I'm not going to make a speculation here. That's not for me to call. I've seen rumors online. You can look them up if you're interested. I'm not gonna say anything because people are gonna quote me, and I've
seen it available for pre-order on sites for certain prices.
Oh, yeah?
Whether or not those are just kind of placeholder prices, who knows? Yeah, you know what companies are like. New gear gets announced and they just want it on their site so people can pre-order it.
Yeah, I know a bunch of retailers in Germany bought one already, so that's very cool. I told them already, some of them I told I'm going to come visit it.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Well, Martin, thank you very much for your time. Do you have any closing messages for the good people watching this, all 6 of them?
You know, I want to dedicate this guitar and the spirit of this guitar to people like me who just started playing on their own, not in a particular giant place or very vibrant place of the earth, a rather very low profile place of the earth, who just sat down, played guitar, tried to get a little better, tried to seek out education, tried to make music, tried to express themselves, expose themselves. I want to dedicate the spirit of the guitar to those people, because this guitar is basically a symbol that if you're like me, like I consider myself an absolute nobody, you can still get your dreams come true. Basically, this is a dream come true for me, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers can relate to that. So yeah, see this as an inspiration that your dreams can become true as well if you just stick to what you're doing.
Yep. I'm going to put my face on screen now and give everybody a closing message. Martin is absolutely right. If you follow your dreams like I have and like Martin has, well, let's just go to like I have. Sometimes you'll get to see your friends be successful. It's fantastic. But on a more serious note, yeah, that's an absolutely amazing message. Martin has achieved his dream, and that is achievable. You can do that. I'm in a similar position. I don't have a signature model, but you know, the idea of making a career in music 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm not that old, was a dream, and it's a dream come true now. So, you know, work hard, get out there, network with people, get to know people, be a professional, show up on time, do a good job. And
I was late for this interview.
You were very late for this interview. Yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah.
It's all right, you're successful now. I can't take that away from you. Yeah, so once again, thanks for your time, Martin. Follow your dreams, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, and go check Martin out on his YouTube page, because, yeah, he has much better content than I do. But if you do like my content, of course, you can click this button down here to subscribe. There's a link to my Patreon up here, and there is a link to 2 videos here and here. One is mine, one is Martin's. Click them, check them out. I'm sure you will find something you enjoy, and if you don't, well, sue me. Don't sue me. I've had enough of that. Much love. Bye.
Bye, guys. Mwah.